If a white man could unite 5 countries under one British agenda, what is the agenda of the Africans that is making us not to unite? And what kind of an agenda must we create so that we can find a reason for ourselves to unite? Because it profited. Botswana is a province. Zimbabwe is a province. So if they don't want to unite, maybe they can remain as governors in their provinces. But we want a bigger agenda which unites all our provinces, because our country is Africa. That is our country. And tomorrow, good news, I'm leaving right here tomorrow, and I am heading off to meet with the president of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, Honorable President Traoré himself. For the next 5 to 6 days, I'll be in Burkina Faso to collect some software and some intel and learn some lessons as to what is it that Burkina Faso is doing that the rest of our African leaders are scared of doing. I will look him in the eye, and I want to have that conversation with him. In the Sohai kingdoms, Mali, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, and the rest of that belt, the Guineas and etc., sooner or later, they might have just to unite with the Traoré agenda. But I think in the south here, we are lacking a leader. One who can be able to become the center and the traction of that kind of movement. And in the Sohai space, Traoré has picked up the baton. And other countries are beginning to come closer. Even Nigeria is beginning to tittle around the idea of joining with Burkina Faso. So is Ghana and the rest of the countries. Imagine all those old Madalas with their beard. Now they're going to be led by a young man, as if they did not know what needed to be done. So I don't know. Boko, we are counting on you as a young man. Boko. We hope that you can pick up your socks when you are sitting in your committee in the SADC with the old people. Find a higher agenda. Africa is bigger than Botswana. And we hope that we can find amongst ourselves. I'm also counting very much on Kambande, one of the young men who's coming up into Malawi, to say maybe he can also hear the call. We need an agenda driver. Someone, one of the leaders, must pick up the agenda from Traoré, because that is the direction which we want to go as young Africans. That is the agenda. After we've buried all you old people and you've gone where other old people go, we want as Africans to leave a legacy for our children of a united Africa. So we are looking for someone who can pick up that agenda item and drive and run with it. Ghana is moving in, and I'm glad Traoré went there to support. Not just to show face, but to support and Ghana support. So for the next few days, I'll do a few broadcasts for you from Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, getting there through Ethiopia, and learning from each other, benchmarking our programs, looking for the new agenda. Black people can not only unite when Africans are brought together by a white man, then they have a reason to unite. They'll be smiling, taking pictures, you know, and they all look very, very timid. You know, that kind of a smile that an African gives when he looks in the face of a white man, you know, like he's looking into some mystical space. Hell no. Hell no. If they have an agenda for our unification, we should also have an agenda for our unity. With those few words, I thank you. Stay away from trouble. Don't do what I would do, but if you do it better.
Across the African continent, a new wave of leadership is inspiring hope and a call for unity. One of the most prominent voices supporting this movement is none other than Joshua Mapunga, a Pan-African thinker, speaker, and advocate for African self-reliance. Today, we dive into why Joshua Mapunga has thrown in support behind Burkina Faso's youngest leader, Ibrahim Traoré, and what it means for Africa's future. Watch and pay attention, and I will share my thoughts later.
You will find the rhythm. You find the rhythm that will actually to drive the music. And today, very short. I'm not in the midst of 1 or 2 meetings, but a certain idea went through my mind. that I want to share with you. Small idea, but I hope it will not frustrate you. But something just occurred to me that South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi, and even parts of the northern Caprivi, which is Namibia on the northern side. There was one white man, who wanted to build an empire for the British, and his name was Cecil John Rhodes. And he traveled from Cape Town, setting up the BSAP or BSA, and he managed to connect South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi, and Zambia. Of course, ultimately he seemed to have lost the other part, and he left it for Verwoerd and the Afrikaners who chased him away from South Africa. But the other three countries up north and fourth, well, he was able to negotiate his way around to formulate what we come to call Rhodesia. Rhodesia finally and ultimately was a combination of Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi, and Botswana, Bechuanaland. Then Seseretekama, through the cooperation with the Queen, there was another treaty that was set up there to allow Botswana to run slightly off the Rhodesia arrangement. But with the Rhodesia arrangement, then Zimbabwe cannot claim much in terms of its success, except that Zimbabwe was built on the labor of Malawi and Zambia. And the capital city of Rhodesia was Harare. So similarly, the Zimbabweans must also be very gentle and kind when they are dealing with Malawians and they are dealing with Zambians. As we speak right now, we have a huge population of Zambians who are in Zimbabwe, and we have a huge population of Zimbabweans who are in Zambia, including my aunt, actually, my aunt, the Tinofireis, who are up there in Zambia, and we are part of one family as Africans. But the thought that went through my mind that tortured me for the better part of today, which I would like to ask as a question to Africans, is that when a white man comes amongst us, whether he uses force or he negotiates, he is able actually to combine 3, 4, 5 countries and make them one. That's a white man. One white man, Cecil John Rhodes, can unite 5 countries. And in those 5 countries, Zambia on her own has more than 72 various tribes. Zimbabwe has more than 18 various tribes. Malawi plus minus another 50, 60 tribes that are there. South Africa with sub-tribes, another 14, 15, and Botswana another 5 or 6. In other words, more than almost 200 tribes under a white man. They will all follow a white man, like sheep that are being led by a dog. The black people will walk behind a white man. And he unites these countries to make one country, Rhodesia. You still find the influence of the Rhodes Foundation throughout the entire South. And that was Cecil John Rhodes. The school fund was there, the governance structure was there, the banking system was there, the military was there, that governed. And these are in the early part of this century, or in the mid part of this century, way back there, that a white man can bring Africans together for his agenda. But black people, free from oppression, they cannot unite together. And then someone was writing to me, yeah, because Cecil John Rhodes was using military, he was using guns to unite us. Then I asked the same person, so must we also use guns for us to unite? So must we still use the barbaric way of taking guns and dominating each other? And whoever amongst us has the most guns, then he's the one who must be ruling over us. In this case, it will be South Africa, which is the biggest military base. So are we still going to be using the very same traditional way that the one with more weapons is the one who must be governing over us. Or in the name of peace and in the name of economics, Africans can be coming together and working together. So my question is just simple. One question for you today. If a white man could unite 5 countries under one British agenda, what is the agenda of the Africans that is making us not to unite? And what kind of an agenda must we create so that we can find a reason for ourselves to unite? Because it profited the Southern Hemisphere to have Cecil John Rhodes consolidate the kingdoms and the countries of the South to formulate the British Empire and extend it. So I just cannot process it in my head that black people will only find a reason of division. So who will rule amongst us? Will he be a Tswana? Will he be a Shona? Will he be a Zulu? Will he be a Pedi? Will he be what? Which king will be ruling over us? You know, yadida, yadida. And you have 1,000 reasons why you cannot unite. You don't have a single reason why you must unite. Because you think that unity will benefit other people more than it benefits all of us. There is strength in unity. There is weakness in division. I will not torture you much today. Just that one question. I would want you to process it in your head. Will Africans only unite when a white man is amongst us? Or we must find our new agenda and find a reason why we must unite? And there's no excuse as to why these 5, 6 countries, if we should include Mozambique, cannot work together. And some of you might be offended, but history is not your friend, and history is not my friend. And when we present history in its rawness, other people's skins will begin to cringe. Again, they will find a reason why this is not so. Cecil John Rhodes was not the first one to do that. The Mtapa Empire also did that. 283 sites in the southern hemisphere. That is from lower Tanzania, Tanganyika, right up into Mapunguke, into Domboshawa, 3 sites in Namibia, another 5 or 6 in Mozambique. Zimbabwe is plural with them, a few more that are in Zambia, with the Great Zimbabwe again as the capital city of the commercial and mining activities that were happening in the BCs and in the ADs. Even rumors have it, I have been to Sheba mines down in Mpumalanga. I have been to Solomon's mines also, and Solomon's mines right in Petersburg. There are Solomon's mines that are in Zimbabwe also, which the modern history cannot account for as to who was mining this, but they are simply called King Solomon's mines. So is it possible that actually this lower hemisphere used to trade and work with the rest of the world, the Phoenicians, the Chinese, and the Indians, before even colonization came? And then you'll find that we had the Axiom Kingdom, which was right up in the north, in the Carthage area. We had the Kushite Kingdom and the Nubian Kingdom, the Abyssinian and Lower Ethiopia. You had the Benin Kingdom, which included Ghana and etc. and Sohai. And so with the Mtapa Kingdom in the south. And this is not buying your face. It's right there in front of your eyes if you want to look at it. So Africa had 5 major empires before colonialism and before the AD kind of chaos. So we used to be one big united people down here. Listen to your music, it's the same. Look at your beadwork, it's the same. Listen to your languages. Nyama is nyama, nyama is nyama. Mvura is mvura, pula, what? It's the same thing. Tovera, it's the same thing. And as nations are drifting away from each other, they develop other languages and other cliches. I don't know why Africans will always find a reason of that which divides us instead of finding that which unites us. I think I've just gone past that bus stop of thinking whether I am Zulu, or I am Tswana, or I am Pedi, I am Tsonga, or I am Venda, I am Mukata, I am Himba, I am Lozi, and etc. You would look at the Lozi people of as far as Angola and Zambia, Varoshi. Because you remove an R and you put an L, then all of a sudden we are different people altogether. Come on. The Lozi, Varoshi, the Moyos, the Wangels people right down in Matabele and south there, Ndimanamkanya, they are part of the Mutota Empire right here in the Great Zimbabwe. I am not pushing you towards the Mutapa Empire, but I'm saying when you look at history, this has been done before. There's nothing new. Cecil John Rhodes resuscitated it, but for his own colonial purposes, and it worked for him. The question is, will we find a reason as Africans, particularly in the Southern Hemisphere, to also unite our countries and be able to have one big passport, one big bank, one border, one leader, one agenda, and this will unite the Southern Hemisphere so that we can begin to grow together. And if we don't find a reason to unite, they have a reason to divide. Listen carefully. If we don't have a reason why we must unite, they have a reason why we must stay divided. And in division, they are able to maximize on our weaknesses and treat all of us as small little ponies on the political and the global arena. My question for you this afternoon, if Cecil John Rhodes and Jameson and Moffat, the pastor, the banker, and the politician came together and strategized to take over Southern Africa, 3 people with one leader, Cecil John Rhodes, who is sleeping at Matopos there in Zimbabwe. You in South Africa at Rhodes University, you are simply struggling with a statue. Here we have the grave of Cecil John Rhodes, which we are also trying to make a plan to make sure that it is removed from here and thrown back in the sea where it came from. But if one man, one leader, with 2 committee members, Jameson, finances, Moffat, church and missionary work, Rhodes, the vision and the politician, a banker and a pastor, met together and they were able to consolidate the Southern Hemisphere. What is it? How much will it cost us to call His Highness Litsia, His Highness Mswati, His Excellency Ramaphosa, His Excellency Boko, His Excellency Hakainde, His Excellency Idi Mnangagwa, and His Excellency, I almost called him Shayalika, the one that is in Malawi, to come together and have a single agenda. Oh, not excluding Namibia, of course. Her Excellency Nandi Nadundo. So that we cannot, as Africans, always be fooled by our leaders, who are so eager when they are in United Nations, IMF. I was looking at them this morning in Davos, out there, and they are willing to take pictures with each other in a foreign country. But they are not willing to take pictures with each other right here in Africa. It's high time our leaders stop wasting our time politicking around and start discussing the things that are important to us. If a white man can unite Africans by himself, why can't Africans unite by themselves? Cecil John Rhodes, Jameson, Moffat, united and built Rhodesia. Our intelligent Africans, the educated ones, will always have a reason why we must not unite. Our borders, our money, our currency, our what. Maybe you must wait until another white man comes again and he'll whip you. Then he will unite you. You can meet in the Commonwealth. Because the British is there. All of you are there, loaded in a bus like sardines. But you can't respect yourselves yourselves as African leaders and unite and come together to create the future that will benefit your children. That's all I had for you for today. That a white man can bring blacks together, but blacks can't come together. So maybe the proverb is true. 100 sheep led by a lion will win a battle, and 100 lions led by a sheep will lose the battle. I wish that you can tag your political leaders and tag your presidents and ask them the question, why are we not uniting? You'll be shocked. We are not uniting because of their selfish reasons and because of their selfish agendas and their selfish benefits. It's not working for us as common people, but it's working for them. There's no reason why Africans should be divided by a river when America, bigger than the Southern Hemisphere, is one country. When Europe is one country, one currency, different provinces, Italy, Germany, France, Norway, Sweden, and etc. India, China. And we are so happy to be in these small little boxes of meaninglessness and be tossed around by the global West, the global East, and the global North. My question is, why will a white man find it easy to unite Africans, and Africans don't find a reason why they should unite? Stop trying to look educated. Let's do what is right. A united Africa is good for us. A united Africa is good for us. But as we are moving to unite with other countries up in the north, it will be nice also in the south to start this agenda. And we need to correct our history also, the way our children are being taught their history. These countries are not countries. These are provinces. They are provinces. Our country is Africa.
Joshua Mapunga is a Zimbabwe-born thought leader, preacher, and Pan-African advocate known for his outspoken views on African empowerment. For years, he has encouraged Africans to rethink their dependency on Western systems, urging them to embrace their own resources, cultures, and governance modes. Mapunga's message is simple but powerful. Africa has everything it needs to succeed. It just needs a leader with courage and vision, and that is where Ibrahim Traoré comes in. At just 35 years old, Ibrahim Traoré is the world's youngest head of state. As the interim president of Burkina Faso, he rose to power in 2022 through a military coup, promising to bring security and sovereignty back to his nation. His leadership has been marked by a rejection of neo-colonial influence and a bold commitment to prioritizing the needs of Burkina Faso's people. Traoré's unapologetic stance against Western exploitations and his vision for an independent Burkina Faso have made him a symbol of hope, not just for his country, but for the entire continent. And it is no surprise that Joshua Mapunga sees him as a leader worth supporting. So why does Mapunga support Traoré? It boils down to 3 key reasons. Traoré's rejection of neocolonialism, his focus on African unity, and his commitment to grassroots empowerment. Traoré has taken a firm stance against neocolonialism, including the withdrawal of French military forces and a shift towards self-reliance. For Mapunga, this represents the kind of bold leadership Africa needs. Leaders who are not afraid to stand up to foreign powers that exploit African resources and dictate policies. Mapunga often talks about how Africa has been a victim of economic and political colonization for far too long. To him, Traoré is a breath of fresh air, a leader who is putting the interests of Africa first. Mapunga has always championed Pan-Africanism, the idea that African countries must work together for collective prosperity. Traoré leadership aligns with his vision and a calls for stronger alliance among African nations to tackle shared challenges like insecurity, poverty, and exploitation. Mapunga believes that leaders like Traoré are critical for building a united Africa, an Africa that speaks with one voice and refuses to be divided by foreign interest. Traoré's leadership is deeply rooted in the people of Burkina Faso. He prioritized grassroots empowerment, focusing on the needs of farmers, workers, and everyday citizens. This resonates with Mapunga's philosophy that true power lies with the people, not the elite or foreign powers. Mapunga often says that Africa's strength is in its villages, its farmers, and its ordinary people. Traoré's approach to leadership reflects that belief, making him a natural ally in Mapunga's vision for the continent. Traore's leadership is part of a larger movement, a new generation of African leaders who are inspired by the legacies of figures like Thomas Sankara and Patrice Lumumba. Mapunga sees this as a turning point for Africa, a chance to finally break free from the chains of colonialism and chart a new path forward. Whether it is Traore in Burkina Faso or other young leaders across the continent, Mapunga believes that we are witnessing the new dawn of a new era of African leadership, an era defined by courage, unity, and self-determination. For Mapunga, the rise of leaders like Traore shows that the seed of change have been planted, and now it is up to all Africans to nurture that growth. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.